Dear students, yesterday someone asked me to explain this poem that you find in your fifth assignment. Of course, it's a very beautiful poem. It is written by Richard, Richard, Richard Lovelace, Lovelace. Richard Lovelace is actually a poet of 17th century. He is a clergy. He is a priest. Okay, he was a priest and he is a poet of 17th century England. He is from England, and this particular piece of poem that you have, it is an expert from his poem called To Althea, Althea, Althea from prison. So, PRISON. So, prison, where prisoners are held, where those who committed different kinds of crimes are held in prison. Okay. So, the name of this particular poem is To Althea from Prison. Now, this one, he writes Richard, Richard Lovelace. He writes this poem when he was in prison in the year 1672, I think so. So in the prison he writes this particular poem, and this particular name Althea, no one knows whether this particular person is alive or it is a imaginary fictional character of Richard Lovelace. No one knows, but this person is alive. I mean, alive when he was writing this particular poem. This name referred to another person, supposed to be his wife or his love, with a different name. Okay, so this particular name is a fictional name that represents a person who was alive during his time with a different name. Okay, so To Althea from Prison. Now we have the last stanza. Stone walls not make prison, which means evidently this particular poet is writing this particular poem from prison. Okay, now to tell you why he went to prison, it's a long story, and he was one of the persons who acted against a particular bill that actually belittled the clergy. So clergy means priests. Okay, so it was a bill that is against clergy, 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 priest. Okay, and to support this bill, this particular person was protesting, Richard Lovelace, and for that he was arrested. Okay, of course the history is too long. I just give you in nutshell. Right, so that is the background to this particular poem, and the whole poem revolves around these two important ideas. If you understand this idea, then this paragraph will be very easy for you to understand. So what is it? External constraints. Constraints means obstacles. Obstacles, obstacles or limitations. Okay, limitations we can also call as obstacles. Okay, now you are going by cycle and you find so many stones, okay, in which cycle cannot pass through. So we call that situation, those stones, as obstacles, something that will not allow you to move forward. Okay, so obstacles are something that will not allow you to move forward. So here the poet actually holds is that external constraints, the obstacles that we find as we move forward in life, cannot imprison. Okay, now for example, now you are studying, right? For you maths is a very difficult subject, and for you maths is actually a kind of constraint, it's an obstacle. No, because since maths is so difficult for you to understand, you are unable to concentrate on any subject, science, Hindi or English, whatever it is. Okay, you are unable to concentrate in any subject because you always feel that no, maths is so difficult and therefore I am not really able to move forward. Maths becomes an obstacle, and therefore what happens when you consider something as obstacles, something as constraint or limitations, you are actually surrounded. So this one, it is you. Okay, now you see there are so many things around you. Okay, as a student you have these many subjects around you. right? Okay, now if you are so confident about all of the subject, it is very easy for you. You can simply move around, okay, you can enjoy your learning. But if you think that particular subject is so difficult for me to understand, what happens? Then this one moves on to another subject, another subject, another subject. So all of the subjects seem to be so difficult for you. So what you actually do, you cannot enjoy, you build a wall around yourself. Okay, you are imprisoning, you become the prisoner of your own thoughts. Okay, you become the you become you become a prisoner. Prisone, you become a prisoner of your own thoughts. Okay, your own thoughts. If you become a prisoner of your own thoughts, what will happen? You cannot move forward. You build a wall around yourself. Okay, right. So this is what we find in this poem. So external constraints, limitations cannot imprison whom they cannot imprison, someone whose spirit and thoughts are free. If you feel free, if you love, okay, if your love is true, authentic, and if your love makes you free, then no matter what kind of obstacles you come across as you move forward, no matter what kind of limitations you have, no matter what kind of weaknesses that you have, they will not imprison you. Okay, because you are you are you are a free spirit. You cannot be imprisoned by anybody, anything. Okay, and therefore in that case, if you are a free person, okay, if you are a person who is open enough to learn anything, then what happens? Even if you find maths to be so difficult subject, you will try to learn because you are free. You choose to learn, you choose to work hard. Okay, so what happens now? If you are a free person, okay, now naturally what you will do, you will break everything, you will break free. You won't be a prisoner of your own thoughts because your thoughts are free. Okay, that is a theme that we find here. Okay, right, now I will read one by one so that you will be able to understand. Stone walls, stone walls. Okay, so we have a house here. Okay, and that house is surrounded by a compound wall. Okay, so some compound wall could be made of mud. Okay, some compound wall could be made of stones. Okay, some compound walls could be made of fencing, no, barbed wire and so on. Okay, so they are all the compound stone walls. Okay, right. Stone walls do not make stone walls do not a prison make. Okay, so here, even here we can read this way: stone walls do not make a prison. Okay, since it's a poem, we find no subject and object, no, they are just switched here and there, and therefore it's very easy. So stone walls, whatever stone walls that you find, they need not be a prison at all, nor iron bars a cage. Okay, you know what's a iron bar, what's a stone wall? We see here, just a minute. We see here, so this is a stone wall you find here. Okay, so these are the stone walls. Okay, so they go around this particular monastery, hermitage. Stone walls here. Okay, so they are the stone walls. Okay, compound wall. So a person who is here cannot go out, a person who is outside cannot come in. Okay, so they are kind of protective wall around this particular monastery. Okay, right. What is the iron bar? Iron cage is iron cage, right? So we find birds inside, so birds cannot come out. Okay, and the birds that are outside cannot go inside because it's an iron bar. Okay, so it is a iron bar. It's, iron bar for the birds or for the dogs. Okay, so this is what we mean by iron bars. Okay, so not everything you see as a stone wall, the poet says, not everything you see as a stone walls, they cannot make a prison, they cannot be prison. Or not everything you see as iron bars can be a cage. Okay, for whom it can't be a prison, or for whom it cannot be a cage? For someone whose mind is innocence and quiet. Here quiet, by quiet we mean peace, peace, peace. Innocence, the meaning of innocence is see, take for example small children. Okay, small children, they are very open. Okay, they are open enough. Okay, they don't simply discriminate people. No discrimination. Discriminate. Okay, no discrimination. For them, there is they small children do not know the meaning of rich and poor. Small children will not know the meaning of the caste. They will not know the meaning of no different classes of people in the society. They are very open enough. Okay, even if you take up small students or school students up to class 5th, they will not know what is the meaning of caste. They try to be mingled with all everybody. Okay, because they are innocents. Okay, even an adult also can be an innocent. How? And if an adult chooses not to know certain things, then he can be an innocent. See, I am an adult, and therefore I choose not to know the caste of my own fellow brethren, and I simply mingle with everybody. Then what happens? I choose to be an innocent. For me, those other things do not matter. Okay, so the meaning of innocent is very simple. I will just show you. The meaning of innocence is the absence of knowledge in person who is not required to know what he doesn't know. Okay, I don't need to know where you are coming from, or I don't need to know what is your religion. I do not need to know what is your caste. What I want to know is you are a human being, and therefore I love you for that. Because you are a human being, and therefore I love you. I care for you. I care for you, I love you, not because you are a person of that particular caste, or you are a person who is speaking a particular language, or you are a person who is coming from a particular culture. No. Okay, so that we call as innocence. Okay, the innocence, it goes beyond religion, goes beyond caste, goes beyond everything that we don't really need in the society. That's the meaning of innocence. Okay, so here we see, so for a mind that is innocent, for a mind that is that always enjoys peace, okay, for this kind of mind, these stone walls will not make a prison, these iron bars will not make a cage, but rather for them, for those persons who are very innocent and quiet, it is simply a kind of hermitage. What's a hermitage? It's a place where the monks live. Okay, so it is a hermitage. Okay, in our term, no, we call it as ashram. Okay, in our Indian term, we call it as ashram. Yes, HRAM, ashram, where the sadhus they live. Ashram is a quiet place. Okay, so here, since the poet is coming from the Western culture, for him it is it's a hermitage, it's a monastery. Okay, even though the poet is writing this particular poem when he was a prisoner in the prison, surrounded by the prison walls, but for him he says, no, even though I'm in the prison, I am not a prisoner. Just because I see the walls around me, I consider this prison as a kind of hermitage where I get reawakening, where I get happiness, where I get peace. Because poet knows why he is imprisoned. He is imprisoned because he spoke for justice, and therefore poet he decides that he is not going to really be sad at all because he is imprisoned, and therefore since he chooses to be an innocent, since he wants to be very peace and he wants to be quiet, he says, where I am, I consider this place as a monastery where we find peace, we find joy, we find happiness, we find everything that we need here. Okay, very beautiful, no? So, once again, stone walls do not make a prison, nor iron bars as a cage. For the one person, know your mind, for the person whose mind is innocent and whose mind always appreciates peace, these things could be a hermitage, a place where you can find happiness. There are many freedom fighters in our country who did marvelous things when they were in the prison, who wrote so many things when they were in the prison. Okay, even after their prison life, when they came out of their prison, they were able to reproduce whatever ideas they got when they were in prison, and they became books, they became inspirations. Okay, so how people can look at reality? Just because you are within walls, it should not make you a prisoner. Just because you are within an iron bar, you can't simply consider that you are a prisoner. Okay, because everything is in your mind. Okay, external constraint cannot imprison someone whose spirit is free, whose spirit and thoughts are free. Okay, right. If I have a freedom, okay, so he says, okay, now just because I'm within a stone walls, just because I'm within iron bars, I don't consider that place as a prison, or I don't consider that place as a cage. Because for the person who is innocent, who loves peace, that place can even become a hermitage, a peaceful ashram. Okay, how it is possible? It's possible only if I have freedom in my love. Usually love, no, if you love a person, you will not hurt, you won't hurt that person, rather you will free a person. No, there is a story about a small boy and the butterfly. Okay, so a small boy loved a butterfly, and he caught a no, he caught a butterfly in his hand. Okay, and he loved the butterfly so much that he simply held it in the palm of his hand, and the butterfly was choking, it was about to die. Okay, then he decided, okay, now if I'm holding on to this butterfly because I love this butterfly, it will die. Okay, how can I show my love to this butterfly? Only when I set this free. So freedom and love, they always in hand, they go hand in hand. If you love something, you will let it free, you will let it come to you. Okay, so if you love a particular person, you will not harm that person, you won't be so possessive. Possessiveness cannot be a love. Okay, that is why poet says, if I have freedom in my love, okay, if I have freedom in my love, then even if I am in a prison, even if I am surrounded by prison wall, even if I am surrounded by iron bars, for me that place is an ashram, hermitage, where I can find peace, where I can find happiness, where I can find joyfulness. Okay, and in my soul, the poet says, and in my soul I am free. Angels alone that soar above enjoy such liberty. If you have that freedom in your soul, if you have that love in your soul, then you can also fly like angels. You can be you can be happier than the angels, he says. So enjoy such liberty. Now, very often we are not really at peace. We are not really at peace. We easily get distracted. We easily get offended because of the external news, because of external reality. But if you choose not to react to the external reality, if you choose not to react to the external constraints, limitations, then you are a free person, you will be a happy person, you are an innocent person. Okay, so that is the meaning of this poem. It's very, very beautiful, right? So once again I'll read it, then you'll be able to understand. Stone walls do not make a prison. Just because you are within a stone wall, it is not a prison, consider. Nor iron bars a cage. Just because you are put in a place which is surrounded by iron bars, it's not going to make a cage. Because mind's innocence and quiet take that for hermitage, if I have freedom in my love. Okay, if I have freedom, if I am free, if I am love, what I see around, what is around me, then these stone walls cannot make me a prisoner. These iron bars cannot be a cage which imprisons me, because my mind is innocent, my mind is peaceful. Okay, and in my soul I am free. Angels alone that soar above. Soar means to fly. Okay, we only consider the angels who fly. Okay, it's not only the angels who fly, but rather even you can fly if your heart is free, if you are free within yourself. We call it as inner peace. Inner peace. If you have that inner peace within you, then you can simply fly like angels. Okay, that inner peace will come to you only if you are at liberty. Here liberty means freedom. If you are free within yourself, therefore you need to be free within yourself. If you consider that your subjects are very hard, okay, first thing that you have to do is you should free yourself of that thought of difficulty. If you keep on saying that the particular subject is very hard, very difficult, then you cannot move forward. You have to empty your mind. You have to free your thoughts. You have to free your mind of all those unnecessary thoughts, no thoughts that no make you not to go forward, not to move forward, thoughts that no tame you, that lame you, that will not allow you to walk. Okay, so you have to be free of those thoughts. Okay, I hope you understand. So read one by one, and then if you listen to this video in the YouTube, as you find the video, no, I'll just embed this video. So there you will find CC. Okay, if you just click on this one, then whatever I speak you can see it as a caption. Okay, right, thank you, have a nice day.